Serverless cloud computing is quietly locking you in, and you may not even realize it. Let's talk about that. So serverless is sold as the end infrastructure. No servers, no ops, code, and instant scaling. But the reality is more complicated and a lot more political. When you build on Lambda, Cloud Functions, or Firebase, you're not just renting compute. You're buying into a whole way of thinking about events, identity, logs, and data. That convenience comes at a hidden cost: long-term flexibility. So let's unpack how serverless locks you in, where the real traps are architecturally, and concrete patterns you can use to keep your options open without giving up the speed of the modern cloud. But every handler, trigger, and event shape quietly wedge your app to one vendor's ecosystem. So the deeper you lean into proprietary services like auth, queues, database, logging, the more your architecture becomes a maze of invisible dependencies that only exist on a single cloud platform. So in other words, the more native features that you use on a serverless platform, which is pretty much most of the value that serverless is going to bring, the more you're going to be locked into that particular cloud providers. So how do you fight this? Well, design your core logic as pure, side effect-free modules and keep all cloud-specific calls at the very edge of your application. So if you're going to build a serverless system that is going to provide you portability or the ability to pull it off and put it on to other platforms, even other serverless platforms, you need to abstract the native capabilities so they can be easily unplugged and plugged back in. So true serverless without shackles means using the cloud superpowers for speed while deliberately architecting as if you'll have to switch clouds or even run on bare metal 2 to 3 years from now. So serverless isn't inherently evil or automatically drive vendor lock-in. It's a power tool that punishes you if you use it blindly. If you treat your cloud provider as your architecture, you're probably building a beautiful cage around your own product. This is not avoiding serverless, but when we use serverless, we need to know what we're getting into. So the question isn't serverless yes or no, it's how much freedom am I willing to trade for convenience, and am I doing that on purpose?